Hi everybody, Nam here, and today we are not going to be performing any magic, but we're going to be talking about it. So, first things first, I just want to thank everybody who's watched any of my videos, not just really my sleight of hand magic videos, but really any of my videos from the past. I know I've done a bunch of things over the years. I did movie reviews, I did 8-bit video game reviews, I did board game and card game tutorials and strategy segments and gameplay videos and now my latest thing is doing sleight of hand magic with card games and board games. So that is kind of where I'm at. But if anybody wanted to know or basically how did I get into sleight of hand magic, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So let's see. Around the beginning of 2019, I basically started watching a ton of YouTube videos about magic. So, magical performances. I think at the time there were big magical performances happening on like America's Got Talent, and I started getting exposed to the show that became really popular, Penn and Teller Fool Us, and a handful of things like that. But I basically just started watching a ton of that, and I was super interested, and I just got super enthralled, and I just wanted to understand it more, right? Because magic, to people who don't really understand, is kind of like this magical thing, and then when you really look at it, it's just kind of problem solving, presentation, and performance. And really, if you ever really think about what magic is, if you ever think about me or somebody practicing magic at home. So here I am sitting at home, I'm practicing magic. But really there's no magic happening. I'm just fiddling with cards or something, right? And the magic really happens inside of a spectator's mind, right? So how they view or see the stimuli, so the cards that they see, or the story that they build in their head based on the narration or whatever. That's basically the magic. So that is the moment. So I can't really do magic on myself. I mean, I guess I make the joke sometimes like, oh, I played a trick on myself. Like I lose my keys or something. That's not quite the same thing, but um, what I wanted to say was, yeah, the magic just, it's kind of like this weird, interesting, unique thing. And I don't know, I just got obsessed with it. So I started by watching the YouTube videos of just performances, and then I started finding videos for tutorials and other kinds of like magical techniques. And the thing that I wanted to do more than anything was probably sleight of hand. And if you haven't really heard of sleight of hand, there's various forms of magic, and some things are, using like big stage props and things, and others are kind of using deception tricks to force spectators to do things. And the sleight of hand is just another family of magic, and that's basically what I'm most interested in. And I've kind of been hanging around cards my entire life, so not just playing cards, but really like, card game cards. So just handling a deck of cards. So a lot of what I practice and what I'm most interested in is sleight of hand magic with cards. So that's just naturally why most of what I've done is basically handling cards. So I've done a couple things here and there that are slightly different, but it's mostly doing with cards. Let's face it, I'm basically just doing magic with cards. That's my thing. So I started to actively learn, and it wasn't until like a few months after I started just watching all of these magic videos. I think it was like May of 2019 or something. I had finally learned and practiced like my first real trick that was more than just like my childhood magic tricks. And I decided, okay, this is cool, because I tried it out on like my wife and a couple of unsuspecting like waitresses, and so it was pretty fun. And I basically decided, all right, this is something I can keep learning because I was interested. So it wasn't until later that year later in 2019, like near the end. I forget if it was like October or September or October or something. But I basically decided, okay, I was learning so much through the internet because there's so many free resources. If anybody wants to learn, it's out there. It's just you have to find it, and sometimes like you find a trick that you want to learn, and you don't know what the name of the trick is. Like the YouTube video could be misnamed. There's really poor like attribution sometimes to different tricks, and so like doing that research requires a leg up and some due diligence. But yeah, I met up with a local chapter of like a national magician group, and I met some people, and I'm still attending meetings now, and basically gave me just a support group of other magicians nearby that I could physically get together with, and we can perform tricks for each other. We can bounce ideas off of each other, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. And that's kind of how I got into just the world of magic. So it's pretty cool. So I don't know if I'm gonna be leaving it, because I do have a lot of other hobbies and I have a big life change coming. I don't think I've made any major announcements, but if you'd been watching my videos back in the days of like board game tutorials, I think one of the ones at the end of one of the abstract games, I basically announced that I had proposed to my girlfriend at the time. She is now my wife, and she and I are now expecting our first kid. So um, that will be exciting. But so where do I go? What do I want to do with this channel? So long story short, I basically have heard horror stories about YouTubers that kind of burn out because they do too much, and I never want to get into that situation. I'm not currently depending on any sort of income from YouTube. I don't even make that much, so it's like, I there's like a few dollars here and there once in a while. But yeah, so I do have a full-time job. I do that, software engineer. Um, but otherwise, you know, so to me, YouTube is a hobby. Magic is a hobby, and I enjoyed loving doing these things, and I want to keep on making them. So I'm gonna do my best. I have no idea what I want content to be, but I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing, and um, that's what I'm gonna do. Can't ask for anything else, I guess. So where do I want to go next? So for right now, I think the interesting thing for me to do is I would like to go back through all of my sleight of hand magic videos and maybe just talk about each one of those tricks, and just that performance and what I did to prepare, what I know about that trick, the history, if anything, if people want to learn it, what resources they can leverage, things like that. And we'll go from there. Sounds like a plan, right? All right. And so that's that. I was kind of dreading making this video because I wasn't sure, if I wanted to end the magic trick train, but long story short, I have a spreadsheet with all of my magic tricks that I know how to perform in there, and I've kind of reaching towards the end. And I did have to do some shenanigans for some of those tricks to work with some card games and board games, which I'm hoping to share. Well. But this is kind of my life now, so this is what I want to do. So I'm just going to put the videos up. Hopefully people find it useful, and hopefully you found this interesting, how I got into magic. So that's that. Anyway, if you've stuck with me this long, thanks for listening, and you have a glorious day. Thanks for watching.